This episode is brought to you by my shop, the AC Cruise Shop. For all your merch, check it out. Tell them about it, Jack.
The artists got their swag. Now you can get yours. The official AC Cruise merch shop is now open. Home of the 5-finger discount. Get a free can cooler when you spend $50. Jerseys, mugs, caps, and more. Merch makes great gifts, too. Visit accruiseshop.com.
Thank you, Jackie Lynn. Yes, we finally got shirts. After all those, 300 shirts, something like that? We got rid of all of them except for 4X. That's right, 4X. And then shout out to Jackie, to not our Jack, our voice girl, Jackie from Austin, as well as Chris and let's see who else. 3 or 4 that placed orders. We had to order some more. So anyway, shirts are in and got a few cups left. And I told you guys you'll get it before Fanfare and before Fiesta. So you can sport my shirt, the AC Cruise Podcast shirt, or you can take that koozie and your cold drink in there. Hey, you know what to do. I ain't got to tell you what to do. So now you know. It's the accruiseshop.com. The accruiseshop.com. Aight? Aight. Hey, listen. Our guest today is Jonathan Espinoza. Who is Jonathan Espinoza? Well, if you didn't know, he is this year's Songwriter of the Year for the Premios Tejano Mundial 2022. He's fairly new to the scene, but let me tell you what some of his peers have to say. David de la Garza from La Mafia, keyboardist, says, he's an enormous talent. I've known him since he was a teenager. He was already really good back then. The future of Tejano is in good hands. Now check out what Gabe Zavala says. Jonathan is a budding new talent to the Tejano industry. He is a great songwriter and producer. He's already proven himself by writing and producing a #1 hit with new artists, which is no easy feat. I wish him well, all the best on his amazing journey. He is an incredible talent with a unique sound. Can't wait to see what the future holds for him. Thanks, Gabe. Thanks, David. So when I saw this kid on Facebook, I said, you know what? This kid, this young guy, he's got something special. He's got something special about him that I wanted to share with you guys. Who knew? So when I reached out to the guy, I said, hey, man, I'd like to have you on my podcast. This was before he won the Songwriter of the Year. I'll let the episode speak for itself. You ready, Jack?
On the next AC Cruise podcast,
it's Jonathan Espinoza, singer, songwriter, musician. Matter of fact, Songwriter of the Year at the Premios Tejano Mundial 2022. We go behind the mic with Jonathan Espinoza. Alrighty then. Jonathan Espinoza. ¿Qué onda, hermano?
No, pues, just here, chilling, excited to be on your podcast, the AC Cruise Podcast. I've listened to so many of your episodes.
And... Oh, come on now. You don't have to tell me that just because you're a guest, man. Come on now.
No. It's. I'm being honest. When I got the message from you that you wanted me to be a part of your podcast, I was like, oh, hey, let's go. I got to do it.
What surprised me was when I said to you, you know what? I really don't like texting, and everybody knows this that has been on the show, especially Shitty Lattes. Anyway, I said, dude, can you just call me? And we talked. I said, so listen, I will get back to you on Monday before Tuesday. You come on. He said, oh, I'm done. You don't have to call me. I'll be there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's funny because I hate texting too.
Really?
Yeah, I got like big old fat sausage fingers, so every time I send a text, lo mando todo with words that don't make sense, and then I gotta go back and rewrite it so people don't think I'm stupid or something,
And then the punctuation,
all of that. I'd rather talk on the phone.
Because of my stroke, sometimes I have a tendency to stutter. Sometimes it's easier for me to text than it is to talk. Anyway, listen, when I came across you, do you remember this or no? When we first communicated?
I do. Well, I had forgot until you reminded me the day we spoke on the phone. I'm like, wait a minute, AC has contacted me before? Hold on, let me go back. So I went to scroll back in my messages and I saw, that you had hit me up about that cover that I did.
Here's the deal. Monica Sadivar First of all, that is my jam, and she is amazing.
She's one of the best out there right now.
I'm going to go ahead and play the audio from back when she was here 2 years ago.
So this song is the only song of the entire CD that is a cover song. So this song was something that we listened to like a couple of years back, I want to say. And listening to this song, it was a lot more slow paced. So whenever Victor came up with the production side of Me Cuesta Tanto Olvidarte, I fell in love with it because it became more of, more fast paced, more something that we could put on the album. The song wasn't really well known as much as other songs like Bailando or anything that Enrique had. But because it wasn't well known, people think it's mine. And I have to give credit where credit is due. And Claudia Brandt is the one that wrote it.
So anyway, that's how I heard about Monica. And then I heard you doing it on Facebook, doing like some kind of trivia question, like who did this song, whatever, right? But check it out.
Me cuesta tanto olvidarte y no sé qué hacer. El mundo sigue adelante y tú también. Las noches son un infierno. Lejos de ti, los días se hacen eternos y ya te perdí. Me cuesta tanto olvidarte, me cuesta tanto olvidarte, cuesta tanto olvidarte.
And I gotta tell you, I dug your version as well,
Yeah, I feel the same way. I love that song. And I did not know that song was a cover till right now when I heard that audio from Monica. So I thought it was a Juan Trevino song all this time, which, he's he's one of my heroes as writer.
Yeah.
Even as a musician, a singer, I have him up here, and he's a friend of mine too. So I did a cover of a cover.
Yeah, dude. But when I saw that on Facebook, I said to you, that's my jam. I love it. La chingada, whatever I said, dude. And then there was one point where you were working on something, a project that you were working on. You produce music. I produce commercials and podcasts. So when I get frustrated, and you were frustrated this time, you said, I'm tired. I said, dude, just step away from the project. It's going to be there when you come back. And you took my advice, man. I love that.
Yeah. It's a process, man. Even before, you called me tonight, I was here just tinkering in the studio. I said, I'm just going to come in and mess around with some sounds. I end up writing a song, and there I am, just le entro, and I can't get away. But I remember that.
Yeah.
You had commented on Facebook, right?
Sure. Yeah, I tell you what, you got some crazy shit on Facebook, brother. The Super Bowl cumbia, great, dude.
That's funny, man. A lot of people were asking if I'm going to release that song. It wasn't my intention, so I might release it. I don't know. We'll see.
But can you? I mean, legally?
Well, all the arrangements were mine. The only thing that's not mine in that whole song is a piano part that I took from Dre. Okay. So all I have to do is remove that, and the song's mine.
But the video?
Oh no, not the video. Just audio.
Cool. I thought the video was great, man.
Yeah. It's the performance from the halftime show. So.
Yeah. How did you like that, by the way?
Oh, I loved it.
I did too. I thought it was great, man.
I loved it. A friend of mine, a producer out in California, he made a comment that I hadn't really thought about. He goes, for it being hip hop, it being, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, it was one of the cleanest halftime shows we've ever seen. I was like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, when people said Prince was the best. I was telling a good buddy, Fernando, in Houston, also producer and musician. Anyway, I said, dude, it's like you can't compare apples to oranges, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Prince was a genius, and he was a melody maker. He would write songs. These guys, sure, they write rap, but I mean, like I said, it's two different styles, I think,
Definitely.
I dug the cumbia you did, but first of all, I got to congratulate you, brother. Congratulations on winning the Songwriter of the Year.
Premios Tejano Mundial.
Yeah, that's it. I'll get it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, thank you, man. That was, you hear people say all the time, I didn't expect to win. But like me, 1,000,000,000% did not expect to win, man. Come on, I was up against Juan Trevino, Gabriel Zavala, Sevi Severo Contreras, Yayo, and me. Well, yeah, that was the last one. So I remember that night, I told my wife, who I thought was going to win was going to be either Juan Trevino or Gabriel Zavala. I thought for sure they were going to, because they had a lot of good songs they wrote last year.
But you know what, though? In your situation, it's got to be a cool thing to be nominated, because let's face it, you are not a name that's synonymous with writing Tejano music, right?
Exactly, man. That's another reason why I was the baby on that list. I'm the rookie. Yeah. All these guys have been in the game forever. I mean, they have hit after hit after hit. So it was not expected. I don't know if you saw my Facebook post. I mean, it was already memorable because I won. I was laying in bed with my wife, and I was watching it on my phone. And my son walks in with a glass of milk, and he's hovering over the bed like this. And my wife comes over to hug me when they announce me. And bam, the glass of milk all over me, all over the bed. I throw my phone across the room. Get the blankets off. Let's go. Because, the milk settles. That's it. So we were like in frenzy mode, taking off all the sheets. And then we brought some towels, tried to soak up the mattress. I don't think it worked. I think we're going to have to buy a new mattress. But, hey, that's going to be something I remember for the rest of my life.
Sure. If not for your kid and the milk.
Yeah. Oh, my God. It's funny now, but it wasn't funny when it happened. I was like, no. But, yeah. No, I'm super, super, super happy and super blessed. And, I still can't believe it, because it's something that wasn't expected. And then I want to say something. As soon as I won, Juan Trevino reached out to me right away. Via Messenger, and Zavala reached out. They all did, but Juan and Zavala were the first ones to reach out, and very cordial. They said, that I deserved it, that I had a great year, and that meant more to me than actually winning the award, because these are, my peers and people that I look up to, and it's just, I'm super happy, super happy.
Jonathan, let me ask you real quick: do you mind being called John or Jonathan?
It doesn't matter. My actual name is Jamie. My Jonathan is my middle name.
Bueno, tu chica. Okay, I'll call you Jonathan. Anyway, Jonathan, tell me about how you guys started, man.
Man, my story is just like anybody else's. I got started in the church. My dad is a pastor, and I'm from a small town in Immokalee. When I was 18, I started, actually, when I was 16, I started a band called Grupo Esperanza. When I graduated from high school, I was planning to go to a school called Full Sail, but I had released an album already called Duele that I had recorded in La Mafia studio in Houston, Texas. The album did really well. That we got invited to tour Guatemala for a month. So right out of high school, I remember it was like 2 months out of high school, we went and did a tour in Guatemala. Then we came back, and there was a song on the album that hit really well. It was called Tu Si Estás. It opened the doors for us in California and Arizona and Mexico. So for 8 years, I toured nonstop with Grupo Esperanza. 8 months out of the year, just touring all over the United States, Mexico, Central America. We had 6 albums. I recorded all of them except for one at La Mafia Studio in Houston, Texas. So, I got to spend a lot of time with those guys, learned a lot.
Quick question, Jonathan. How did you enjoy working with Mando and the rest of the guys?
When I was in the studio there, we never actually got to work with Mando musically.
Okay.
We did a lot of stuff with him and went places with him, but we never worked musically with him.
Got it.
The ones I worked with was with David de la Garza.
David's awesome.
Bro, he's also one of my heroes. I started playing keys because of him. And to get to sit down and watch him work on my albums, do background vocals, make keyboard arrangements, that was just like, to me, it was everything. And, we worked with their guitar player at the time was a guy named Marian Aquilina, I think is his last name. Okay. He worked on a bunch of our albums. Mondo would listen to our stuff and give us pointers. At the time, they had a guy in the studio named Randy Miller, who was the guy who mixed and mastered all their stuff. Developed a good relationship with him. Actually, going to be working with him here in a month or so. And then, but the main guy they had there was a guy named Mario Cardenas. He's not in music at all anymore, but he was their main studio engineer, and he was behind all my 6 albums as far as mix and master, and he was the main guy there. So all I have to say about La Mafia is awesome guys, super humble. We're always ready to teach. Like if you had a question, they were ready to show you and teach you and just, impart their knowledge.
So I see a guitar behind you. Is that a guitar or a bass behind you?
That's a bass guitar.
That's a bass. Do you play lead guitar? I mean, we play. Oh, let me ask you this: how many instruments do you play?
The one I can play the best is the piano. I can play guitar and bass, a little bit of drums. Used to play button accordion. I gave it up. But in Spanish they say, domino, el piano lo domino, and the other two me defiendo.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you picked up your first instrument, man?
Piano. I started playing piano when I was like 10 years old, but just, I played everything by ear. I started taking piano lessons, but I was always getting kicked out of all my classes because I wouldn't. The teachers want me to learn the way they were teaching me, and I was always just coming up with my own songs, and they were like, no, you got to structure, and I was just like, but I hear this and that. So I was always gonna get kicked out of all the music classes.
When I was in school, I was also an outstanding student. Yeah, but no, my teachers would send me out there standing in the hallway. That's an old joke, brother. That's an old joke.
That's a good one.
So how old were you when you decided to put a group together? Were you with your dad's church, or what happened?
Yeah, I was there at my dad's church. I was playing in a band, actually, another Christian band at the time called Los Herederos de Dios. I was the keyboard player, accordion player, and background vocalist. But I always wanted more. Like, I want to do more musically. So I started my own band when I was like 17. I did that up until the age of 25. Then I got married at the age of 25. I met my wife in San Antonio, Texas, on tour, actually, at a church in San Antonio, Texas. We dated long distance for 2 years. And then at the age of 26 or 25, I can't remember, we got married. And then my dad had kidney failure. Both kidneys were just shot. So I had to end up donating one of my kidneys. Well, I didn't have to. I wanted to. I wanted to donate a kidney to my father. And after that, I kind of just stopped doing music because I was helping him, with he has a company, like a construction company. So I decided to step in and help him as much as I could. So I kind of just gave up music for a good 8-9 years.
Interesting.
Yeah, I stopped completely. And I just, I would still write stuff here at home, and I would play at church. I would lead praise and worship and all. But as far as like going beyond that, I just stopped. I didn't really have the passion for it anymore.
So what was the fire that got lit?
A friend of mine from the Bahamas came down to visit our church, and he's a leadership speaker kind of deal. Like, he motivates people and whatnot. His dad was a mentor of mine who passed away in a tragic airplane crash over the Bahamas in his own jet. And he was one of my mentors. And so I had his son come speak at our church one night, and he spoke about you having a gift that the world needs to hear. Like, are you just going to keep it for yourself, or are you going to use what God gave you to share it with the rest of us? Because he said, we need what you have. Whatever it is that God gave you, we need you to share it with us. So I remember going home that night, and I was like, you know what? I'll get back into it. Let's try it. So that, like, the next week, I started building in this room, my studio. And then a couple weeks after that, I started recording again. My album is called Sin Palabras. It's a Christian album I did in 2018, 2019 or something like that. But at the same time, building up the studio. And then I started putting it out on Facebook. Hey, I write songs. If anybody needs a song, hit me up. But one of the first persons that hit me up was a local band called Grupo Completo. And they're a Tejano band. The owner, his name is Vert Ibarra. He's like, yo, Jonathan, I need a song. I said, what kind of song you need? He goes, ranchera. I said, okay. And he says, I want it to be a duet. I'm like, okay, I got you. So I wrote him a song called Yo Soy de Ti. And they ended up doing the duet with Aisha Aparicio.
Right on.
Yeah. And what was even cooler, awesome about that was that Gabriel Zavala is the one that produced that song. And I remember him hitting me up and saying, "Hey, Jonathan, I love this song. You did a great job writing this song." And I was just like, whoa, I was like, man, Gabriel Zavala hit me up. So, that song went on to do really well. And it's because of that song that I started getting, more and more work. And, Aaron Holler was the drummer who played on that song.
Yeah.
And he started getting me work too. He started putting my name out there. Hey, this guy knows how to write songs. I always say it takes a lot of people to help you get where you're going,
Do you think, in your opinion, Jonathan, do you think that Tejano music lacks in words or lyrics, or is it just plain bubblegumish?
No. You're right on both fronts. There's a lot of music that's put out today that lyrically, and I don't want to offend anybody or come at anybody. I'm not.
And neither. I hope I don't offend anybody with my question, but it's a legitimate question.
Yeah, it is, and I talk about this a lot with a lot of my songwriter friends. There's a lot of stuff that's put out that's very bad. That's written, the lyrics are not written very well. I think that's one of the things that hurts our industry.
Sure.
That one of the reasons why some people are turned away from our industry, because, they turn on the radio, they might hear one really good song that's written really well, produced really well, has great vocals, and then you'll hear the next one that is just not on par. It's very bad.
Well, I will tell you what, one of the successes of Grupo Mas, who I think is got to be one of the best in the biz, they would write lyrics. Songs with lyrics and were catchy and were, I don't want to say commercial, but it was a song you could sing to. When it comes to Tejanos, I've had this discussion with all kinds of people in the industry, is that Tejanos, they just want a good hook and something they could dance to. Now, on the other hand, another percentage that like the words, like the message, like the song.
Yeah, and it's going back to Mas, if you listen to those lyrics, they still stand to this day.
Hell yeah, they do.
The musical arrangements, it's classics. They're all classics. And you're right about the whole bubblegum, pop lyrics. Sometimes it works, though. Sometimes it works, but
you know what? Real quick, when I was a program director, I would research my listening audience and I would ask them what to think about this and what to think about that, this song, whatever. So check this out. When I asked my weekenders or one of my DJs, I said, hey, what's this song that I'm hearing about called Coco Rayado? He says, oh, yeah, that's big in the clubs. I said, get out of here, man. Que sí, no. And it was that remix on Hacienda Records. He said, yeah. So I go out to this club and I see this dance floor packed, man. So went onto my playlist on the radio, man.
It's so interesting and it's hard to describe, because as songwriters, sometimes you write a song that you're like, man, this is going to be the one. People are going to love this. And then it turns out that nobody likes that song and they like the one that you didn't think was nada que ver.
Nada que ver. Another one was a friend of mine who's a program director now. And he said, you know what song that I got across my desk? And I said, this song is going nowhere. Bitty Bitty Bomb Bomb. I said, you gotta get out. You're kidding me. I said, dude, first of all, consider the source, man.
You see, and I was just gonna mention that to you. Take a song like Bitty Bitty Bomb Bomb. Like back then, I'm sure I would have been one of those guys like, yeah, this is not gonna do anything. But I mean, I was just telling Carla Cristina this the other day because she wanted to know why did I think that Que Lo Sepan had such a profound effect, and it's still being played 9 months later. It's still charting, which was weird to us. I told her, I think what happens is all the elements have to be there: a great vocalist, great lyrics, great producer, great musicians, and if you just know how to blend it all together, you can create something.
And you know what? I think Jimmy was a great conductor, if you will, about putting that all together to where it all gels. You know what I'm saying?
Obviously, because when he was doing it on his own, he was still able to generate those hits.
Oh yeah.
¿Quién iba a pensar is probably my favorite cumbia of all time.
A pesar de todo, come on.
Yes. That album was just fire.
Yeah, for sure. So listen, man, talk to me about the year that you had. You've done all kinds of stuff with all kinds of artists, which I think is great, man.
Yeah, well, it's just the word gets out that I'm an okay writer, and I just blessed, man, that I get hit up all the time for songs, from different artists, established artists, new artists, and they tell me what it is that they're looking for, and I try my best to.
Well, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but how long have you been on the scene, man?
About 4 years.
Wow. Good for you, man.
Yeah, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. I will say this, it's tough. It's tough because people didn't know who I am. So I feel like I'm always having to prove myself, to certain artists who are like, what have you done? And so I have to go, well, I wrote this song, I wrote that song. And they're like, okay, well, send us some music. And I'll send them 2 or 3 songs. Sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't. So I'm still learning every day. I stay in communication with Juan Trevino. I stay in communication with, Gabriel Zavala, with Aaron Holler, Miguel Hernandez. I try to soak up everything that I can to, I want to get better. I want whatever we put out in this onda to be good, really good.
Sure. But again, give me the year that you had last year or this past year.
Well, let's see. We did Que Lo Sepan was probably the biggest song that I had last year with the new artist Carla Cristina. Have you heard of her?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. She that song was charting everywhere. I wrote another song for Aisha Aparicio called El Eco de Mi Voz, another Gabriel Zavala produced track. And then I wrote another song for this kid, Tristan Ramos.
Yes.
Yeah. The guy's super talented. It's funny because that song, I was on vacation in St. Augustine with my family, and Zavala hits me up. He's like, hey, Jonathan, I need a song. I'm working with Tristan Ramos. I need a song, and I don't want nothing fancy. I just need something super easy, simple lyrics. And I called him back to him, man, I'm on vacation. I don't have a guitar. I don't have a piano. I don't have nothing, bro. I'm sorry. I don't. And so he's like, no, don't worry about it. You're on vacation. I just thought I'd ask. So I was like, you know what? I can't let this opportunity go by. I have a GarageBand on my phone. Has a little piano. I picked out some notes. I got a little notepad from the hotel. I wrote a song it was like 30 minutes. And then I recorded it on we went to eat with my family, and they were in the restaurant. I told them, guys, I'll be back. I got to go record it. So I went outside on the street, and I was recording the song with the piano and my vocal. It was like a voice message. And I sent it to Zavala, and he hits me back right away. He goes, bro, I can't believe you just did that. I go, hey, you gave me the opportunity. I'm not going to let this opportunity go by. He's like, I love it. We're going to use it. And they ended up doing it. So,
Yeah, good for you, first of all. Second of all, I've told this to several people that have been on the podcast. I find what you and other songwriters do amazing, man. Amazing.
Well, it's for me, one of the disadvantages that I had is that I'm all the way in Florida.
Yeah, in Immokalee?
Yeah, in Immokalee, Florida. So I've had to do a lot of my stuff, and that's the beauty of social media. I can contact anybody now. They can contact me through Messenger. We can FaceTime. We can Zoom, and we can just work. Like my latest project is the Carla Cristina album called Soñadora. I wrote and produced the entire album, and a lot of the sessions were done via Zoom with the musicians that I use in Texas. I have a team a go-to team, which is Aaron Holler on drums, Lalo Morales on accordion, Eddie Perez on bajo and bass, or Miguel Hernandez on bajo, bass, and guitar. And I work with Zavala too. I work with anybody, depending on the song.
Yeah.
If I hear a certain, like, for example, Lalo Morales and Gabriel Zavala, 2 extraordinary musicians. But Zavala's accordion sound is way different to Lalo Morales' accordion sound. So, like, for the Que Lo Sepan song, I used Zavala on that accordion part because it was more Tejano sounding accordion. And Lalo, I used him for the rest of the album of, Carla Cristina. So, but songwriting is difficult. A lot of people do it different ways. There is no one right way to do it. And everybody always asks me, what's the formula in writing a hit song? I go, well, if there is one, tell it to me because I don't know it.
Yeah. Did you hear the episode with Freddie Martinez?
No, I didn't hear that one.
We talked about that, man. My dad who wrote songs as well as Luis Silva. Luis Silva was big time when it came to writing songs. But I told Freddie Martinez when I was a kid, I was down in Market Square with my dad, Luis Silva, and Pio Trevino. My dad said something to Pio. He says, "Tú sabes lo que haces." And Luis Silva said, "I got it. That's a song, Abel. Thank you so much." so he wrote the song. A month later, he gave it to Bobby Naranjo. And there you go. So that's what Freddie said. Freddie says, it just happens. It just happens. Yeah. You never know when you're going to get inspired, man.
That's true. That's true. Like, I study songwriters. I study them. I study their lyrics. I study their work. You know what I haven't been able to do yet, which what I want to do is collaborate with songwriters. Because I have this theory and I preach this theory to everybody. I tell them all the best albums were a group of people working on those albums. It wasn't just one mind doing everything. I don't believe that. Yeah, because I got to see La Mafia when they were recording some of those albums, and it was all a group effort. You know, if you go look back, some of Selena's biggest hits, it wasn't just AB, it was AB and Pete.
Yeah,
writing that stuff together. So, you know, I would like to collaborate in the future because I think two heads are better than one.
Sure,
I really do believe that.
Sure. Now, you mentioned the bass there behind you. What is your favorite instrument?
The piano.
Piano?
Yeah.
Because
and the guitar. Yeah.
Guitar? That's what you learned first, or?
No. Well, if I'm being honest, my favorite instrument is the drums and the guitar. But the instrument that I can play the best is the piano. So go figure.
I thought you were saying something stupid like kazoo or something.
The harmonica.
Yeah, right on. However, there's some good harmonies out there, man. Even what's the guy from Blues Traveler, man? Shit, the guy's badass, man. Shit.
Even the guy from Maná, he plays the harmonica pretty good too.
Who's that? Fer?
Fer, yeah.
I didn't know that, man.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I got a real cool story real quick. I'll try to make this as quick as I can. When I moved down to the Valley, I get a call to do DJ parties for some of these kids going to school or whatever. What freaked me out was I would get requests for Maná. And like I said, this is the early 90s, right? Who the fuck is Maná? And so I didn't know Maná. So when I found out who they were, I said, oh shit, this is great stuff, man. Anyway, I was not contacted, but contracted. I'd go down to Sao Padre and I would host a whole month and a half. I would be the MC at a club called Louis. Maná got there. They were upstairs in the private VIP room. And I go out to my truck and I get my CD from Maná. Donde juran los niños, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I went, and since I knew the owner, ML, I said, can I ask Maná to autograph my CD? They went ahead and signed my CD, and Fer says, does this, in Spanish, obviously, oye, ¿no hace daño al CD? I said, no, it'll still play, you know? So a year later, man, he was in McAllen. ¿Qué pasó, AC? You recognize me? Yeah, it was great, man. It was great. But you know what? I've had happened several times. I mean, with Vicente Fernandez, he dubbed me Su Gordito de Oro. When I was introduced to him, I gave him a big, big hug, man. I'm a 6-foot guy, almost 300 pounds. When I hugged him, I popped his back. He's like, ay, mi Gordito de Oro, me traen a la espalda.
That's an awesome story.
Yeah, for sure, man. But yeah, I didn't know that he played harmonica, man.
Yeah, man, he's really good. You know, and I'd like to say too, AC, my love for Tejano music, it started because of La Mafia, actually. One of the first Tejano albums that I heard is Un Millón de Rosas. That was the first Tejano album I heard. And then after that, I just dug in. I started, you know, Selena, La Sombra, Fama, Emilio, anything that I could find Tejano, I dug into it. And my family is very close to Rudy Guerra.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Rudy Guerra he was one of my mentors growing up too in the church. And
sure.
I toured a little bit with him when I was doing, you know, I had my Christian band. I got to spend time with Manny Guerra. So, you know, I got to spend time with Jimmy Edwards, toured with him as well.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of the knowledge from them. I learned a lot about music. about singing, about anytime I was around them, I was just like a sponge, just soaking it all in.
Sure.
So you know, my love for Tejano is it's there. I love it, and I continue to do it. And I want to continue to. I want to leave my mark. I always tell everybody I want to create something good, something worth listening to. You know, something not something that's just going to be forgotten. So that's my goal.
Hopefully, in the near future, sometime this season, Manny Guerra is going to be on the podcast.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's cool.
Exactly. But so basically, what you're saying is just because you are from Immokalee, you dig the Tejano sound.
All the way, brother. All the way. You know, and I see all the comments and I hear other people saying that Tejano music is dead.
No.
Which, you know, that comment doesn't make sense, because if it were dead, you wouldn't have new artists coming out every year. You wouldn't have these artists filling up the venues that they're filling up. It's not dead. It's not where it used to be in the 90s, obviously, but it's not dead either.
Yeah.
You know, and there's new people coming up. Emmanuel J, Monica Sandivar, Tristan Ramos, Gabriela. There's an artist that I'm working with out of New Mexico called, her name is Anna Kayla. Great vocalist. She's going to be featured on my next single. So it's a beautiful genre. It's a unique genre. There's not another genre like ours. You got to really love it to be in it too. So
hell yeah. Aside from not being from Texas, but still living the Tejano vibe, man.
Yeah.
What is coming up next for you, brother?
I'm finishing up my album, The Espinoza Experience. That's going to feature nothing but new up and coming singers. So, you know, I'm every day scouring the internet, trying to find good vocalists. I love working with good vocalists.
Established or new?
No, just new up and coming artists. My goal is to provide a platform for them to just launch, you know, to go out there. It's kind of what we did with Carla Cristina with her first single, which was supposed to be a part of my album, but it did so well that I decided to put it on her album that we just released. But yeah, I have that project. I'm writing for a bunch of different artists. I wrote a bunch of songs last year that still haven't been released. Artists take sometimes a year to release a song that I wrote for them. I used to post on Facebook all happy, guys, I just wrote an awesome song for this artist. Y luego nada. Like 2 years later, the song comes out. So I stopped doing that. I don't even write anymore. Like, oh man, y'all guys aren't gonna believe I'm writing for so-and-so. Nombre. I stopped doing that because the song don't come out till a year or 2 years later.
You know what? I gotta tell you, when it comes to songwriting, when Alejandro Sanz.
Oh, that's my hero.
Oh, dude, I'll say right now, he's awesome, man. He writes beautiful music and forget about it.
I did a cover of his last year with some musicians from Guatemala.
Yeah,
it's on my YouTube channel, and it was on a Instagram page, Alejandro Sanz fan Instagram page, that somebody, I don't know who does it, but anyways, they posted it and everybody started tagging Alejandro Sanz. I'm like, oh, and if he sees this, I'm gonna quit music. I'm done.
Oh, well, I'm gonna tell you right now, the first time that I heard that song, so I was in Miami when I heard Corazón Partido, okay? Corazón Partido. Dude, it took him 7 years to write that song. 7 years.
Wow.
2 years is good. 7 years? 7 years, and it was a smash, wasn't it?
Doesn't AB have a story about that, about Como la Flor? I think he said that he saw some guys selling flowers one day on the side of the road, and like 12 or 10 years later, he wrote Como la Flor. So it was something like that too. So yeah, I haven't had that experience yet, but we'll see.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope you get that one hit, that boom. Yeah.
That would be nice.
It would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Jonathan, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and introduce yourself, brother.
I hope I didn't blabber, man. I know sometimes I just go off and off, so. But no, thank you for the opportunity.
Come on, me. I tend to blabber. I'll talk about stories and forget about it. Anyway.
No, I appreciate the opportunity, AC. And like I said, man, when you sent me the message asking if I was interested in being on your podcast, I'm like, yo, I'm more than interested. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah. That's what I like. That's what I liked about it when you said, I said, I'll call you to confirm. No, I'm confirming right now. I'm ready, man.
Yeah. And I was very happy. I only told my wife, and I told my my best friend, Aaron Holler. I told him, hey, don't tell nobody. It's between you and me. You know, just super thankful, you know, because like I said, I'm still a rookie in this, and for you to even consider me is a blessing. And I'm super thankful. what you've done, what you continue to do for the industry. You know, these podcasts are amazing, and they need to be heard by more people. So,
well, thank you, man. Thank you so much. You're gonna be fine, man. Don't worry about it.
Hope so. We just try to do the best that we can, brother.
Anything that you want to cover before we call it quits?
I just want to shout out, my team. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them, which is again Aaron Holler, my drummer and the guy who mixes and masters all my stuff. Lalo Morales, one of my best friends, accordion player, vocalist. He's an artist himself. Eddie Perez, Miguel Hernandez, and that's about it.
Will we be seeing you in Texas anytime soon?
I'll be down there in December, and I'm thinking about doing an acoustic live filming with some of the artists that I work with. So
awesome!
Yeah.
Keep us posted, please.
Definitely, brother. Definitely.
Jonathan, thank you so much. You take care.
Thank you, brother. You too.
And there you go, Jonathan Espinoza. That's great, man. Awesome. So happy for you, brother. Just goes to show you don't need to be from Texas to enjoy Tejano. That's it. I got dibs on that shirt. I got dibs on that shirt that says Tejano. Not just for Texans anymore. Yeah, I'm on it. Anyway, Jonathan, congrats to you, brother. We're out the door. Want to thank Jackie, the voice girl, Romeo, TejanoNation.net, and of course, you, the subscribers, the listeners. Thank you so much. We'll see you next weekend. Until then, chill to the next episode of the AC Cruise Podcast. Much love. Be safe.